I heard half of McDohl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm complaining about how organized Automata is. Look at this beautiful place.
All right, so we got everybody back, so I can go ahead and get rid of Elizabeth.
So
Yep.
we can keep saying automata, right? Like over and over. Like it's not gonna make Brick lose his mind with his
No.
crazy ass pronunciation.
You're fine.
Yeah, you said automata earlier, and we're like,
Automata.
Oh, it's
what
driving
is-
me nuts.
Say it however you want. I don't mind.
It's not right.
But we can't call sigil.
That would be very incorrect.
And you can't say tiefling, because that's also incorrect.
Tiefling is right though, so that's
can.
what's weird there.
The difference is like the canon material specifically says that people get killed for mispronouncing sigil. Like it goes out of its way to make sure you know it's a hard G.
Like if you want to find a Tiefling, you have to go to Sigil.
So, arriving at Automata, pausing for commentary from Nodal, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can move on.
No, you're making your own sense.
The gate towns that you pass through, Trade Gate, Excelsior, and I think the one outside of Arcadia is called Paradise, but that's a double check.
We've been through Excelsior before.
Some of the, you haven't actually.
I thought we stopped there on our way back from Mount Celestia.
We probably ran through it.
No, you sailed from Mount Celestia to Bytopia.
Oh, right.
No,
My bad.
Heart's Faith was a gate town at one point, but it became so lawful and so good that it got eaten by the plane. And then a new gate town was built. Excelsior is a cool city, though, because it has these really high-level paladins move there, and they built castles that float in the sky. The idea being that their castles can be guided towards Mount Celestia over time. So the whole
That
city
seems
is
like cheating.
surrounded by these awesome sky castles. Automata is, I mean, exactly what it looks like. And is it weird that this is one of the highest res pictures I've been able to find of any Planescape map? Is this? This is the one that somebody scanned at super high res?
So,
This is Allentown, Pennsylvania.
The unbalancedness of over
Yeah.
here is really
Yeah, it
throwing
is.
me off.
Well, that
gotta
is
realize-
what passes for town square in Automata.
Town
would
rectangle.
actually be, yeah, it clearly should be a square.
If you call it a town square, literally every inhabitant just looks at you and frowns.
And then you get taken to court because it's against the law to call it a town square. I got rid of Elizabeth, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. I did. She's gone. Gone
Yay.
forever. I don't even need to describe the town. You can see exactly how it's laid out. Every building is identical. The buildings are in perfect groups that form this perfect grid. There's no elevation to the streets. There's no round edges. The gates to the town are perfectly symmetrical. And everything in town is very strictly regulated and controlled. So a few places of interest here.
Oh, the list is over.
The what is over?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I got it, Nick. Don't worry.
Every map in the Planescape books, most of the areas, have like little quotes set off to the side. This is the one about Automata. A quote from Government Worker number 2601. Fill out these forms in triplicate, take them across town to be stamped, bring them back here for initial processing, get them checked across the street, then say you weren't in a hurry to get to Mechanos, were you? And that is exactly the experience you guys have. You're directed to the Council of Order building, which is where processing for these gate calculations take place. The gate itself is somewhere about here-ish. So there's an archway that covers from one side of the street to the other. And it's the one of only two such archways in the city, the other being exactly opposite the square on the other side. But that archway is unique, for it is the gate to Mechanos, and to that end, it is guarded by Modrons, but not the kind of Modrons that you guys have seen in Sigil. The typical cube-shaped Modron is called a quadrone. And they're kind of the first Modron subspecies that is smart and capable enough to kind of have higher level learning and decision making abilities, which is why quadrones tend to go rogue far more often than most other Modrons. Any lower than a quadrone and they lack the higher brain function to achieve independence. Any higher than a quadrone and they're dedicated to the Modron cause. What you guys are seeing guarding this gate are 5 pentadrones. I can't describe what a pentadrone looks like, so I'm going to post a link in the Twitch chat to a picture of a pentadrone. There's a great one in the 5th edition monster manual, and I'm hoping that's what comes up in the Google search here. No, Google, I did not mean modern pentathlon. This is not the one from the 5e monster manual, but it's pretty good nonetheless. This is what a pentadrone looks like. There's that link. It's this bizarre flowered-shaped metal creature with 5 legs and big eyes on each of these. It's weird. You just have to look at it. 5 of these guarding each of these 2 archways. And you learn that 5 of them are guarding that archway because it's the gate, and the other 5 across the way are guarding that archway because if it wasn't, then they would not have a symmetrical number of guards appointed at the proper points in the city.
Makes sense.
So yeah, 5 dudes just guarding and nothing.
Wouldn't call a pentatron dudes. These are large creatures. I mean, we're talking 10 feet tall, probably. Whereas the Modrons and Sigil that you're used to are these cube-shaped creatures that are roughly... I mean, they're not as tall as a man is, but they have the bulk of a man in a cube shape on 2 spindly legs. Many, many Modrons in the city, mostly monodrones. Monodrones are these tiny little spherical guys with little bat wings. And monodrones are the larva of Modron society. The limitation of a monodrone is you can give them one command, and that's the only thing they can do until they're given another command. If you have an army of monodrones and you can order them to fight, and then they will fight your enemies until the enemies are dead, then they will fight each other until they are all dead. Many, many monodrones in the city. But the Modrons are actually a minority in the city. Most of the inhabitants are the standard mix of races as you'd see in Sigil. Lots and lots of humans, many Githzerai, many Tieflings and Aasimar, the odd barrier, several Githzerai. And you see no small number of dwarves and halflings as well.
Let's get this over with.
Where do you suppose the whorehouse is?
Gonna bang a Modron?
Kelian shrugs. Curiosity more than anything. Professional curiosity.
So you're shown the entrance. You're shown the gates of Mechanos and the archway. You come to learn of the location of the Council of Order building, is where you get all this processing started, and the location of the Divine Machine, which is called the best inn in Automata. If you're staying for any length of time, it's the best place for travelers, to kick up their heels. Most of the other buildings are shops and residences. The residences in the residential quadrant are in alphabetical order.
Now, they're not hashed, so whenever someone new moves in, everyone else potentially has to move.
Wow.
So where is your destination?
I'm gonna go to start filling out the forms.
Of course.
To get our party to.
Of course, moving in probably requires 6 to 12 months of paperwork, so they have time.
Get our party to the Kudarashi Sea.
Okay. Is anybody going with Riot to the Council
I'll go
of
with
Order
Riot.
building? Anybody
I'm
else?
not 100% sure how paperwork works. So I'll go. Maybe I'm good at it.
It works like taxes.
Oh, I don't have to deal with those.
Kelian is going to opt to stay with the most lawful member of the party for his own.
We have a lawful member?
Last I checked.
I don't think there's nobody lawful in this group.
I
No.
thought Ciclon's not lawful.
Nope.
He's
good.
neutral, right?
He's neutral
He's
good.
neutral
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's
Neutral
neutral good.
Oh. Well, fuck it. Let's go fill out some paperwork.
Okay.
Because Kelian is not going to be here by himself.
Every single building in Automata is the same size and the same shape and the same color, made of the same material. Every single building has a bronze plaque to the side of the double door in the front stating the purpose of that building. For a residence, it would state the residence of and then the name of the head of household. So the Council of Order building, when at first you're kind of thinking, oh, it's going to be the biggest building in town or the most opulent or whatever. No, it's just, it looks like every other building here. It just has a bronze plaque, says the Council of Order building. However, there are a lot of people congregated outside of it. A lot of people, many of which you take to be governors.
Is there a nice orderly queue?
Not outside the building, no.
Oh. So then I'll just push my way to the front. Let's get inside there and get some paperwork on.
Okay. Who's taking point on this conversation? Are we letting Riot take point on it?
Sounds like she hates doing it, so Serenity will give it a shot if it would make Riot feel better.
Well, I'm sure she hates it, but she's also still in her governor disguise, which is why I'm asking.
She wasn't really wearing a government disguise because those last an hour, and Riot knows from experience that it takes all day to get anything done. She can't maintain a disguise for that long.
No, but you still have your anarchist ability,
That's true.
if you
yeah.
like.
No, but yeah, I can still claim that I'm governor, but just to be clear, I'm not in disguise.
Gotcha. So the questions are... Actually, the clerk doesn't ask you many questions. Just
Mahogany, what were
cursory...
your gambling losses last year?
In fact, you're just initially handed a roll of parchment, which is intended to collect information on what sorts of forms you're requisitioning.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a personality quiz?
Which faction are you?
Are you asking the clerk?
No, I'm making I'm making a stupid personality quiz joke.
According to this, I'm a monodrome with a null pointer for an instruction?
I'm kind of surprised there isn't a what faction are you personality quiz. I'd take it. Whatever.
I'm sure
right.
there is.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I take the
I didn't
forms.
take the quiz. I'm
Okay.
a cipher.
I look at it.
And it's a form that you need to fill out so they can determine what form you need.
I'll start getting to work. Do they have an inkwell here?
Oh yeah, they provide all of that for you.
All right.
What are the rest of you doing while Riot is sitting here filling out all this paperwork?
Well, if Riot's doing the paperwork, Serenity will ask if they have a copy of the rules so she can read them before she goes here, so she won't be executed.
And they kind of are taken aback, the clerk that you ask, when you mentioned that you don't want your friend to be executed. But the rules are, of course, available for all to peruse. And they motion to a back room in the building, which is packed with people. Many of which are governors. And at the head of the room, on 3 large lecterns, are enormous books. The volumes that contain these rules and regulations. And you learn that the room is too small to contain all the regulations at once. So every morning, the books are cycled through these lecterns. One volume is removed and put in storage, and another volume is brought in place. So each volume of the regulation stays in place for 3 days in the rotation. And there are some 270 tomes. So to completely study the rules would take a great deal of time, and that is in fact what many of these people are doing in this room. So there is a queue for each of these 3 tomes.
Can you bottom line the rules for me?
Who are you asking?
The nearest person who looks frustrated.
So that would be Riot, and she's busy. You don't really see a lot of frustration.
2 years and 3 months to learn all the rules then.
Well, that long to read all the rules. You have to factor in time of actually retaining the information, and you don't see a lot of frustration, honestly. I mean, well, most of the people you see here, if they're not governors, they're denizens of Meccanos. They're people who intend to be here. The gate towns, you tend not to see people who don't want to be there. Maybe want is a harsh word, because nobody wants to be in, like, Ribcage, but the people tend to reflect the personality of the plane that the gate town sits next to.
Is there anyone here who looks like they're traders or other merchant caravan, anything like that?
Anyone with 20 feet of rope, like an adventuring type?
Not in the Council of Order building, but there would be shops in the market district.
If I wasn't going to buy anything, I was just curious if there anyone else who's planning to travel through that wouldn't be as amenable to the nature of the plane.
Okay. Riot, make me an intelligence check.
Okay.
DC is 10.
That passed.
Okay. So you submit your requisition for paperwork form, and it's determined that what you need is a formal request for gate calculation.
All right.
And to this, you're going to have to go to an office across town. You're going to have to go to the office of formal gate calculations.
And make a request for the formal request.
And this, when you arrive there, this paperwork asks, first of all, are you representing an individual? Are you representing a company? Or are you representing... Or are you a group with no particular leadership?
I say we're a group with no leadership.
In that case, they would need every member of the group to appear at the office in order to fill out individual paperwork.
All right. I'll try and round everybody up.
I will glare at Riot when she's like, "Really? You couldn't just? We're not really a group. I mean, come on. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess."
Come
I thought
on,
I was the leader.
you know we have no leader, right? We make all decisions by consensus.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe we should make a decision by consensus to.
Also, Ciclon,
Hmm?
I'm gonna need you to start filling out my paperwork, because if I have to sign one more form, I am not going to be able to resist making things up. And if I make things up, we're going to get to the wrong place.
We might also get killed.
Right. So somebody else, please sign in my paperwork so we don't die.
So
Okay,
here's
I
the
can
thing,
do it.
though.
Well, that's not me
Riot.
then.
I give you like a little boost to keep you focused.
Mm-hmm.
Some magic Ritalin,
All right, let's have it.
and I'll cast Enhance Ability Intelligence on Riot.
Okay.
Maybe needed wisdom for the willpower to go on, but okay.
So here's what I want everybody to do.
Okay.
And hopefully this only takes like 5 minutes. If that. I need everybody to send me a private message on Twitch.
Okay.
Okay.
And there are 3 questions. There's 78 questions on the form, but 3 of which that are important to us here. First, your identity, which involves name, faction, place of birth. Second, your business on the plane of Meccanos and how your business involves furthering the cause of law. And third, your desired destination on Meccanos. And, if applicable, on whose authority you're traveling to that location.
Ah.
Okay. How do I do private messages on Twitch?
Yeah.
Can I just do AIM?
Let me... If you can't do Twitch, I will put my alternate email in the Mumble chat you can use, but I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want all these people to spam me.
Okay.
Or you can send an email to there in the Mumble chat, and I will.
Or you
I
could
will
just
get it.
send a private message on the mobile chat.
You can't because that's on a different computer. It's got to be somewhere I can retrieve from the laptop.
What's the command that I can for Twitch chat?
You just click their name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
And
can
then
just
whisper.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I see it.
Got it.
whisper or a private message or an email to that address. Will be fine.
I don't want to ignore Brick Road.
I thought it was only appropriate that I make you guys actually fill out paperwork.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
whatever. So
Arriving
our
in
name.
Automata. Your identity, which involves your name, faction, and place of birth.
Oh God.
Your business in Mechanos and how that business furthers the cause of law. And your destination to Mechanos, and if applicable, on whose authority you are traveling there.
All right.
If applicable.
All right. So what was that second question again? I'm sorry.
Business in Mackinac, how it furthers the cause of law. Oh. Are we unified in our answers here, or are we just going to come up with
You
whatever?
are not unified in your answers. That's why you all are sending me private messages.
All right.
So I can scour them for discrepancies.
And the last one is, I'm sorry.
Destination, and if applicable, on whose authority you're traveling to that destination.
Oh, you got us into so much trouble.
Hey, Rickard, do you have a high-res version of that Sigil map? The one that you use for Sigil stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty high res.
Is it like on Imgur or something?
I can give me a second. That's one of the few maps I actually have saved in tabletop, so I don't access it on Imgur very often, but I can pull it up.
I can
for
never
you.
find a really good high-res English version. There's a really good Italian high-res version. And I
Right?
don't know why.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's not weird that people speak Italian. I'm not saying Italy is weird. Those guys talk weird.
No,
But I
it's
don't
Italy.
understand why. I don't understand why there's no high-res English version, but there is a very good Italian version.
Yeah, I'll post that in Mumble here. There you go.
Thank you.
I almost considered just using that Italian version. I'm like, whatever. I guess this is what we're doing.
Oh God.
What was the name of the place we were going to? I don't have it in my notes.
Oh, it's called the Kodrashi Sea.
Kodrashi. Let's see.
I imagine the number of ways that we spell that is also going to be amusing.
Yes, it will.
All right. Oh God. Why is my phone beeping at me? Oh.
Does fantasy
Oh, it didn't cut off my
generators.com
lines.
have an Aasimar generator name?
Here, let me paste that again with numbers for each line.
That's fine.
Because I thought it would.
I figured it out.
All right.
I'm good. It's
I
good,
shift
yo.
entered and it looked like it was separate lines, but then it wasn't.
Twitch gonna twitch, yo. And then, the Pentadrone is one of the more, normal-looking Modrons. It just gets even weirder.
Dude, I sent Nick a picture. Here, let me put it just into the Twitch chat. This is just under the description for Modron. Here. Let me just put that into Twitch. I think this is in the Planewalker's Handbook. It's possibly the starter set, though.
The best artwork of Modrons, though, I believe it's in the 5th edition DMG. There's, a whole procession
the margin where they're
little-
holding it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
See, that's cute Modrons. This thing that I just posted is not.
Oh yeah, I like the chibi
Horrible
Modrons. Yeah, the chibi Modrons are great.
It's like a fucking
Totes of Dorbs.
fleshlight looking motherfucker.
Okay, Brick Road. I don't know how to. I don't know how to
even.
Like, I can't. Like, I'm clicking on your name and clicking whisper, and I'm getting nothing.
You click on the gear on the channel.
Now, this image that Nodal posted, this is actually in the Planes of Law box set. Was different from the other box sets in that it had an individual book for each of the 5 Planes of Law. And this is like the title graphic for Mechanos. And what we're looking at here is Primus. And these Modrons in the foreground all look miserable. Because a Modron, it's impossible to comprehend a Modron in the hierarchy except for those immediately above and below it. That's the only way Modrons can communicate, with their immediate superiors and inferiors. So these Modrons have no idea what the fuck that thing is.
It's your god. Don't worry about it.
So, wait. I click on the gear, and all I'm getting is chat options and mod tools.
Gear and then message. Second option.
Oh yeah, the chibi Modrons, they're good. Modrons are pretty good.
So I guess it's not... Oh, man. I'm trying to remember. Can you be a Modron priest of Mechanus?
You can, yeah.
You just don't understand where your power comes from.
Well, see, a Rogue Modron does have that understanding.
Oh, okay. That's
Because
right.
the
That's right.
yeah,
once they break the programming, that's right. Or a Primus, I meant.
But I guess then that would be the question: would a Rogue Modron be able to be a priest of Mechanus? Of Primus.
Yeah, because
you can't send it on AIM. I can't.
Well, I don't know that Primus would grant you powers, though, huh? Yeah, I don't know.
All right, my form is filled out.
Mine too.
This is gonna get interesting.
That was mine, but I got it.
Send it to that email, McDohl, if you can't figure out Twitch.
Alright, where is it?
I posted it in the Mumble chat.
Mumble.
Okay, I know that email address.
I thought mine was a very Mahogany answer.
There you go, bro.
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, this one is actually pretty good. The one you posted in the Mumble chat, the Sigil map.
Oh yeah, it's nice and high res. Was it the Fiend Folio that had Modrons in it in first edition?
No, it's the very the player's handbook.
No, I'm asking Destil. Like I'm talking first edition, not
okay.
Planescape.
I think they were in on. My guess is they're in Unearthed Arcana, simply because all the awesome things are in Unearthed Arcana, but it might be Fiend Folio.
Because I remember seeing the first edition, and they're much more geometrical in first edition.
Yeah.
So here's a picture of a Tridrone from first edition D&D there.
Was the Fiend Folio the one with the Githzerai with the Gith Yankee on the cover?
Tridrone.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. The old skull-looking Gith?
Mine is
I've seen this.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about the 5e artwork of Modrons to me is like the giant luscious lips that like the Tridrone and things have.
Primus is so very kissable.
I have a feeling that Modrons were invented out of a desire to be able to use dice on the battle mat, let's be real. It's just like the gelatinous cube. It's a creature that's genetically adapted to graph paper, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I don't remember if I told you the story, but my players, when they heard of Primus and everything about Mechanos, they decided that, oh well, if Modrons get more powerful the more sides they have, then Primus clearly must be 20-sided.
I imagine the Primus might be infinity-sided.
That would be a sphere.
Infinity
Yeah,
minus
spheres
1.
are monodrons.
Okay.
Infinity minus 1. There you go.
So, looking over your answers, I have good and bad news. The bad news is every single one of you misspelled Kodrashi C. The good news is you all misspelled it in exactly the same way.
Yes!
Yeah.
Even Destil?
Oh, Destil misspelled other things, don't worry.
Okay.
No, that's Serenity misspelling things.
So,
Not Destiny.
Mahogany, you filled out this paperwork. Just judging from your answer, you gave like the shortest, curt, most to-the-point answers to each question you could have.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mahogany just put in there Mahogany, Cipher, Faunal. They ding you for putting Cipher and not the Transcendent Order. And they ding you for not putting your home plane.
Cypher's a shorter word.
Right, but the proper term for a cipher is the Transcendent Order. This is explained to you when you go to turn in your paperwork. The clerk has to sit you guys down and walk you through all of your errors so that you do not continue to make them. The proper term for your faction is the Transcendent Order, and the proper place of birth should be listed as Faunal the Outlands.
Ciclon swears and then scribbles out something on his own paper and corrects Godsman to...
oh no, it's too late for that. You've already turned it in.
Damn it.
The answer you gave to your purpose is item retrieval, removal of an item aberrant to the nature of the plane. Which is fine in and of itself, but it clashes with the answers given by the other members of your group. So that's going to require some scrutiny as well. And then the destination, of course, they explain to you how to correctly spell Kodrashi C. And I don't know how to spell it either. It's on my map, but I don't have the map open. Serenity, you not only did you put Cipher instead of Transcendent Order, but you misspelled Cipher. Which is excellent.
Did you make it shorter?
He spelled it with a Y. They ding you for putting in your age, which was not requested. They require you to fill out additional paperwork addressing the issue of not knowing your birthplace. And your purpose, you listed explore the Kodrashi Sea, and this furthers the cause of law by allowing for the creation of more accurate maps of the multiverse. Again, fine in and of itself, but it clashes with the answer given by
See, we have a
Mahogany.
leaderless group, so maybe we all have different purposes.
If that's the case, there's going to be additional paperwork after the fact. When they go to get to the bottom of why you all gave different answers, there's going to be more paperwork. Don't worry about it. So then we have Clivia, faction, independent. They ding you because that's not a faction. And it doesn't...
Actually, I can say, I don't know what you want me to say then.
It doesn't correspond to any known faction either.
Should I put NA?
Are you not a member of any faction?
Not so far as I know.
In that case, they have additional paperwork for you. This paperwork involves distinguishing a person unaligned to any faction from a person who is a member of the Free League, who, despite what the people in the Free League say, is in fact a faction as recognized by the Fraternity of Order. And then you have birthplace as 9801 Hedgerow, Clerk's Ward, Sigil.
Are they
Which is
very happy
fine.
with that?
That's very... The business is to recover an important artifact of an endangered lawful goddess in order to save its life, which is exactly the opposite of what Mahogany has said. Desired destination, the Kodrashi Sea, on orders of Aunt Nancy. Again, is at odds with what your companions put down, because neither of your Cipher companions put down any authority.
No, I put down Serenity as the authority.
You put down your own name? Well, in that case, they ding you, because that doesn't make any sense.
I like to think there's actually a ding sound that they make.
It's just a very angry old woman, and every time she sees a mistake, she hits a bell. Ding!
How much red pen do we have on this street now?
So Elsie Clone,
Yeah,
is Graruk your real name?
it is.
Your alias Elsie Clone. And you put down that you're a member of the Transcendent Order. Even though you're wearing colors of the Godsman.
Did I put down Transcendent Order?
Yes, you did.
Oh my god.
Put that down on the form. Birthplace, Plane of Limbo, unknown. So you have two additional forms to fill out. One, the same thing as Serenity, addressing the fact that you don't know your place of birth. And second, there's always additional paperwork. Any denizens of Limbo asking to enter Mechanos, you've got a book you've got to fill out.
They don't have a standard Gith short form?
Not all
Because
Gith
come here all the time.
Not all Githzerai are from Limbo, though.
Oh.
Business in Mechanos is an expedition into the Kodrashi Sea and learning. And then the destination is the Kodrashi Sea. So, Some additional paperwork you all have to do is to address the discrepancies in your purpose. If all 5 of you have just come together with a multitude of purposes, that's fine. They just need to have it on file.
You didn't go over Kelian's.
I know, I'm about to.
Okay.
So Kelian puts his name as Zephiel.
Right.
Faction as unaligned. So he's got the same paperwork distinguishing him from a member of the Free League. Place of birth, Mount Celestia. They ding you for that because you were not very...
I didn't say what.
Yeah, you didn't
what
say where
plane
on the
or
plane.
level of. Yeah, okay.
Business is visiting the Kodrashi Sea. They ding you because you don't explain at all how you're visiting this plane furthers the cause of law. So, Kelian, the second time you fill out the paperwork, what do you say your visiting the plane will do to further the cause of law?
Removing a chaotic artifact.
Okay.
Sounds like a good, fun answer.
You all managed to get this second round of paperwork, but there's not enough time left in the day to file it all. And this is all the paperwork that I've just covered. So, I mean, you've got your limbo form for Ciclon, and your I'm not an in-depth form, and your I don't know my place of birth form. Kelian's got to go back and fill out the original form a second time because he left things blank.
Mahogany's all set.
Long form?
No,
form
because
birth
Mahogany-
certificate? Who asks for that?
Mahogany is going to have to fill out a form clarifying his purpose in Mechanos because his
Right, but we
purpose
all got that.
deviates from everybody else. So, where are you all staying the night? There is still nighttime on the Outlands.
Is there in here?
Yeah, it's called the Divine... There's several inns, but the big one, the most hospitable one to outsiders is the Divine Machine. Alternatively, you could just cram yourselves into Riot's tent.
Yeah, I'm going home.
What's in this symmetrical space from the Divine Machine?
Roll some dice.
I'll go with Riot.
A cobbler's shop.
That doesn't seem very symmetrical.
Who do you
All right.
notate this observation to?
The cobbler shop.
You go into the cobbler shop and explain him,
Yeah.
and he summons in a quadrone, one of the Modrons, who explains in great detail to you why it's symmetrical and why it is logical for this shop not only to be in this district amongst other shops of its similar kind. You see, all of the shoemaking shops are in this area of the town, which is a smaller sub-area of all of the clothing shops. And then symmetrical to it are other places of business which are not shops. And this explanation goes on until you put a stop to it.
Mahogany has a big grin on his face and lets it go on for at least 5 minutes.
And there is no emotion from the quadrone whatsoever. I mean, this is an automaton in the strictest sense. He's just addressing your confusion is all he's doing.
And then after the 5 minutes have gone by, Mahogany says, "Thank you, you furthered my understanding of law."
The quadrone is happy to have been of service.
And then I'm going to head over to the inn.
Okay? And you all fill out the second round of paperwork that night. Everybody give me an intelligence check. Ciclon, make yours at disadvantage.
Oh, this will be hilarious then.
Mahogany, make yours at advantage.
I got a 21.
I got a butt and a butt half.
Oh wow!
Mahogany, how'd you do?
I got a nat 20.
Me too.
What does that translate to?
20. I think it's 22.
22. Serenity, what'd you get?
21.
21. Riot, what'd you get?
19.
Zephiel, what'd you get?
19.
The other guy, what did you get?
Can you just like draw like an ASCII butt? I got like a 2.
A 2?
Oh no, I got a straight 20. I forgot my int is 10.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, a 4.
A 4. Okay.
So like I said, an ASCII butt.
Elsie Clone. The next morning, you don't get any sleep. You're up all night trying to make sense of all this paperwork. And it's just gobs and gobs of information. You didn't even spend any time on the plane of limbo. Like, you don't even have memories of being there.
Exactly. That's why he's extremely pissed off.
You have a level of exhaustion at the end of the night. You are just mentally drained.
Oh dear. That's awful.
After this paperwork is submitted, and you're all dinged a few more times, of course, because naturally you would be directed to the Department of Gate Calculation. This is a building which houses an apparatus which is used to calculate the precise time you need to enter the gate to Mechanos to arrive at the Kodrashi Sea. And this is not free. Because this is kind of an obscure place on Mechanos, and it's not well known, and the calculations are not done very often, there is a fee associated with using this device.
It's not in their pre-calculated tables. Nice.
The problem is the tables change all the time.
It's actually 4 giant wheels that get spun once a day.
It's just about the opposite of that.
And Serenity inquires about that, and it's explained to you by a quadrone over the course of hours. That's a common misconception about Mechanos, is that it's a place that's static and never moves, when actually it's an entire plane of change and movement.
But isn't all the movement in such an orderly fashion that it can be predicted?
It can, and that's exactly why these calculations are so precise.
So, can't you predict it in advance?
This quadrone that you're talking to doesn't seem to understand the question. The idea of calculating something, or knowing something before calculating it, doesn't make sense to it.
This is Q. When we first met him. This isn't.
This isn't even. This is not even Q when we first.
Not even that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Cube when you first met is way beyond this guy.
Right.
Of course, this one has wings and does not have a table bolted to his head. I'm going to need somebody to roll percentile, so elect one of you to roll percentile.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. No.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Hey,
Serenity
I wanted to
planted
find
the
out what I'm
seed.
good at, and I rolled a net
making
20 on
this.
those forms, so maybe I am good at note-taking.
Obviously, we were meant to be filling out forms today, Mahogany, because I also got a 20.
Yeah, see? Exactly. 73.
Okay.
Of course, high is always better. Always roll high.
Except when it forces us to turn out our pockets.
Always roll high.
The fee for this calculation, and this takes into account how busy the portal is and how many governors are ahead of you in the queue and all sorts of other things that don't make sense to you but make perfect sense to Modrons and governors. It's 88 gold pieces to do this calculation and schedule your group once the proper paperwork has been filed, which will take probably another day or so, to use this portal and go to the Kodrashi Sea with a margin of error of 7.3%.
Is that each?
Wow.
No, that's for your, because you filed as a group, remember?
Oh, right.
Well, I have 9 gold pieces.
I've got 100, and I never use gold for anything, so I'll just cover it.
Okay.
I'll contribute 10 to it.
Mahogany shrugs. He always pays for Riot, so he thinks this is fair.
What are you contributing? Because Riot offers to cover it all, but if anyone wants to
I
kick in...
figure it's only fair, so Elsklan will contribute 10.
Okay.
Since when did you two have money?
Kelian is perplexed that someone has more money than him.
Serenity's perplexed that either of those characters ever has any cash on hand.
Well, I had Mahogany to thank for that, for this little windfall.
Riot just claimed she played a really good gig.
Oh, okay.
Mahogany nods politely.
Should have been there.
Where was it?
I don't remember.
So that 88 gold,
Well, next time you can't remember where to go, I'll be there.
that's been paid. You guys have figured that out. Okay. That encompasses the fees for filing all your paperwork, and the fees for scheduling your way through the gate, and the fees for the calculations, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nodal, do you want to continue to roll for the group here?
Hells yeah.
1d6.
All right.
What do Modrons need with gold anyway?
2.
This
Thanks.
isn't Modrons. This is the Governors.
Okay.
Modrons are worse. You haven't gotten to Mechanos yet.
Yeah.
2 Mechanos. I see. What
It doesn't matter if they need something for gold. They have needed for gold. The rules say you get a fee.
Yeah.
That's
Takes 2 days for this processing to go through, for your paperwork to make it through the system, for the calculations to come back. And the portal will be attuned to a point at the Kodrashi Sea at some point tomorrow afternoon.
Do you have an itinerary for us?
They give you the exact time the portal will be open, and if you do not pass through it at the exact time, then you have forfeited your fee and you would have to begin the process again.
How do we prove we're allowed to go through?
They give you paperwork for it, of course. Stamped and sealed.
How early do we need to arrive?
It's best if you arrive exactly on time.
Okay.
If you arrive early, you will be clashing with the people who are supposed to go through the gate before you.
Seems to make sense to me.
Is anybody
We
doing
have to
anything
take
else
off
in
our
Automata?
shoes.
Is anybody not planning to arrive on time? Let's put it that way.
I'm gonna arrive early.
And that complicates things. Because now they have to file more paperwork addressing the issue that you arrived early. There was a scheduling conflict. The group that was supposed to go in at the time you arrived, now they've been detained and they've got to file more paperwork. And that puts off the whole process for another day.
oh.
Riot.
I say sorry. I was just trying to be, punctual.
Mahogany
Next time,
never even
wait
shows up the
outside
first
the
time.
building until the proper time. Don't go inside early.
It's a good suggestion. I'll take you up on that.
Well, the actual archway's not inside a building.
Okay. Wait near the location until the exactly
Sure,
correct
sure.
time.
Sure thing.
Sorry, I need to take 1 second and plug my phone in or else it's going to die. And then when Peanut calls me, I'm not going to be able to answer it. And then
Mahogany
you
says
guys
in an
think
aside
you're
to
having a
Riot.
bad time dealing with Modrons.
Does she
So
not
Riot-
get that you did it on
Try not
purpose?
answering the phone when your wife calls.
That's right. Spends the next day just kind of like busking around here, waiting for her time to come.
Does anybody plan on cocking this up the following day?
No.
No? Very good. Welcome to Mechanos. As soon as I get the table here. They quoted you a margin of error of 7.3%.
Yeah.
The reason the margin of error is so high, they explain, is that the Kodrashi Sea, first of all, is a very obscure destination. It's not a place that's requested very often. The last time it was requested was some hundreds of years ago. And though the gate is attuned for the Kodrashi Sea at some point, inevitably in its cycle, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where. The second reason is that you are entering the realm of a god. And as much as it pains denizens like the Modrons and the Governors, the gods are the ones who control their own realms. And if Osbrim, for some reason, decides that she does not want gates opening into her realm today, so be it, it will not open in her realm today. So perhaps, unsurprisingly, you do not arrive at the Kodrashi Sea. You're not really sure where you've arrived. You step out on a small gear. Not even through an archway. Just out into empty space, into this gear. And see the infinite clockwork extending in all directions around you. Gravity in Mechanos is always oriented to what's under your feet. So there's no sensation of getting vertigo. There's no sensation of feeling like you're sideways or about to fall.
If we went to the edge of a gear and, like, tried to walk down to the other side, could we?
Are you going to try that?
Yeah, that totally works. Serenity does it all the time on Potopia.
Well, this isn't Mytopia. This is Mechanos.
Right. No, but she understands how subjective gravity works.
Question is,
No,
who tries it?
Riot's not going to try it.
Okay. One of the complications of doing that is that everything you see is in motion. The gear under your feet, you can't feel it spinning, but you know that it is because it looks like everything around you is moving. And this particular gear connects to two others. One perpendicular to it and one parallel to it. So attempting to walk around to the other side of it, you'd have to make sure you time it in such a way that you're not standing between the teeth of the gears when they click together. Otherwise, you would very clearly be crushed.
So what's this gear that we're on look like?
It's empty. Looking down, the metal of it looks to be made of bronze or copper. It would be big enough to hold maybe 100 people comfortably. So not very big across. And looking in all directions, you don't see much of anything in the way of civilization or life that it's connected to. You're just stuck in the middle of the cogs of the machines.
How about this icy gear that was supposed to house the sea?
No sign of it. Riot, you were given, before stepping through, you were given a scroll that includes paperwork to file should you arrive at the incorrect location on your return to Automata to file this paperwork for a partial or complete refund of your calculation fees, providing you have proof that you arrived at the incorrect location.
This seems like as good a time as any to see if my Produce Flame cantrip works.
No, don't do that. No. Here's what you do. Is there like any kind of like identification of the gear that we landed on?
You have no idea.
Like any kind of indexing number?
Yeah, you've got no idea.
Serenity will, when El Ciclon mentions that, Serenity will just start walking carefully along the gear from the outside, working her way out, or inside, working her way out, and look for anything, any obvious marks that will help her identify it.
Ciclon, they're governors. If we turn in this form in, there's going to be 13 more forms. They're going to just give us the runaround.
Great. I have a question, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about Bobrick filling out forms. Is Bobrick not with us?
No, I assumed you did not bring Bobrick with you.
Okay, good. That's my assumption, too.
Okay. Serenity, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Is Riot burning this scroll?
Yeah, that's happening. If I can get a cantrip to work.
No.
The perception check is a 17.
The 17? Okay. Riot, you managed to produce flame, and you're used to producing these bright flashes of orange fire that look like natural flame. When you produce it in Mechanos, it doesn't feel as hot as usual. It feels like you're not sure just by the heat it's giving off if it would burn anything. It does, in fact, consume the scroll, lickety-split. But the fire isn't spontaneous. The second you're looking at it, the plumes of gas are perfectly symmetrical and uniform in color.
El Ciclon looks really sad.
Gross.
I was hoping for voxel flame, but okay.
Riot says to El Ciclon, look, I'll reimburse you your money, and you won't have to fill out any forms. That's how much it's worth it to me not to have to fill this crap out. Here, it's like jams the 10 gold in his hand.
Well,
That's
Do
like a
the
good idea,
ashes
though.
fall away to the gear in perfectly symmetrical streams?
No, in fact, it's consumed completely, and the plume of smoke spirals off into the quote-unquote sky.
Let's try something else out. Let's see what the weather's going to be like tomorrow.
Hey, well, hold on that. Serenity.
Yep.
Are you just walking inward directly, or are you doing like concentric circles, like a spiraling?
She starts at the center and she makes concentric circles outward.
Gotcha.
If there's anything that looks like it might be like engraved into the gear, she'll stop and run her fingers along it to see if she can find any better definition of it.
Maker's Mark.
In the very center of the gear, the actual geographical center of the gear, so you see a circular plate stamped into the metal, and the entire plate, just spiraling from the outward all the way inward, is a stream of ones and zeros. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of digits.
Is there a place on that form for a couple of million ones and zeros?
Not anymore.
Oh, I figured out where we are.
Great. Now that we can figure out where we're supposed to go.
All right, Mahogany, what's the name of that spell?
Druidcraft.
Now, is Druidcraft bullshit, or is it horse shit?
Oh, it's maybe the most preposterous spell in the game.
I don't know.
It figures out what the
change.
weather's going to be like.
Brickroad asked a question. It was like apples or oranges, and you said banana.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened just
So
there.
you cast Druidcraft in the hopes of learning what the weather will be like, and you get a result in your little sphere, and you've never seen this before on any plane you've ever been to. The sphere is just solid gray.
Apparently it's going to be gray tomorrow.
What is it right now?
Gray.
Well, at least the weather's holding.
Yeah, welcome to Mykonos, a plane that always changes, always in motion. Wonderful place.
So what's next?
Let's try some more
Bitter
cantrips.
about this.
I mean, Serenity is going to just start looking at all the nearby gears to see if she can see anything that looks like anything.
Not with an eye shot, no.
Alright,
I honestly think me and Nick
right-
would have to be insane to not try all our cantrips every time we go to a plane.
That's true.
while
that-
they're
that
doing
should
that,
be a
she's
good-
going to hop over to the other side of the gear to take a look from the other side.
Okay.
Being very careful to avoid the interface between any other gears.
These gears that they're connected with are large enough that they're not moving around fast enough to make this a big deal. But
Okay.
looking around at your surroundings, you see other gears where that would be an issue.
Yep.
Let's
On the-
avoid those gears.
Perhaps, yes.
So while they're cantripping, I'll pop off to the side, see if there's anything from there.
Well, you can't trip it.
You're fired. So what other cantrips do I need to look up?
Shape water.
Okay.
I'm gonna test that one out by just pouring out a little water from my flask. Canteen.
But what do you do to shape it or move it?
I'm just going to try to change its color through a couple colors.
And you pour the water out. And before you even cast a spell, you realize it's pooling on this gear in a perfect circle outwards.
Can I move it from a perfect circle?
You can, but as you're moving it, it takes on these bizarre geometric shapes.